The wait is over. The automotive world holds its breath as Matt Armstrong, the YouTube legend, attempts to become only the third entity ever to accomplish what Bugatti claims can only be done in two places on Earth. The impossible rebuild begins now in a modest garage at Blackhorse Performance, where the air hums with anticipation and the faint scent of oil and determination. Mate Rimac was crystal clear in his response video about why Matt couldn't and shouldn't separate the Chiron. Only two facilities worldwide, special equipment, specially trained technicians. That was Bugatti's official position, their line in the sand drawn with corporate precision and years of carefully cultivated mystique. Matt's response was simple and defiant, a middle finger to the idea that some machines were too sacred to touch outside hallowed halls. No special tools, no special training, no factory support. Just Matt, his father Tony, and FXG's cameraman working out a garage filled with the echoes of past builds and the quiet confidence of men who live by their hands. The entire premise of Bugatti's refusal to support this rebuild rested on one claim: that independent garages lack the capability to properly disassemble a Chiron. If Matt pulls this off, that argument doesn't just weaken, it collapses completely, like a house of cards in a stiff wind. Tony's response to the challenge was immediate and unwavering. Whatever a man assembles, another man can disassemble. That philosophy would guide them through the entire process, a principle as old as engineering itself, passed down through generations of mechanics who refused to be intimidated by complexity. Yet somehow Bugatti had convinced the world it didn't apply to the Chiron, turning an extraordinary machine into something almost mythical, untouchable, beyond the reach of ordinary hands. Matt's first obstacle wasn't mechanical. It was informational. Without any factory service manual or technical documentation, he had to reverse engineer the entire disassembly sequence from scratch, relying on logic, experience, and a deep respect for the engineering that lay beneath the Chiron's sleek skin. "We're going to separate the car in half," Matt said, his voice steady but laced with the thrill of the unknown. "Engine out the back, tub out the front. We're just going to have to attack it and start undoing bolts. But I think the first step is to get the side skirts off." It was an educated guess based on logic and experience with high-performance vehicles, the kind where intuition meets preparation in the quiet hours before dawn. Sometimes the most sophisticated engineering still follows intuitive principles, layers built to come apart if you approach them with patience and the right mindset. Matt started at the bottom, removing bolts methodically under the harsh glow of garage lights. Each turn of the wrench a small victory against a narrative of impossibility. He unclipped trim pieces held with a combination of clips and double-sided tape, feeling the satisfying release as components began to yield. FXG's cameraman got involved, spotting hidden bolts that Matt initially missed, the team working in seamless rhythm as the camera captured every detail for the world to see. This became a pattern throughout the day. Every time they removed a panel, more bolts were revealed underneath, like a carefully designed puzzle crafted by engineers who balanced drama with accessibility. The door seals came out next, revealing additional mounting points that had been concealed with masterful subtlety. 2 more bolts held a carbon fiber piece in place. Another hidden bolt secured the trim. The discovery process was part archaeology, unearthing the secrets of the machine, and part mechanical intuition, reading the car's intentions through touch and observation. Then came a revelation that shifted the entire mood in the garage. Unlike conventional cars where quarter panels are welded or bonded permanently to the monocoque, the Chiron's entire rear quarter section is simply bolted on. This wasn't design flaw or an oversight. It was intentional serviceability hidden beneath a veneer of exclusivity, a clever engineering choice that suggested the car was built to be maintained by those who truly understood it. Matt accessed the bolts from inside the car, reaching through the interior to undo fasteners that most people would never know existed, his arms straining in the tight confines while Tony offered steady guidance from outside. "It's actually a pretty clever design," Matt observed, wiping sweat from his brow as the pieces started to align in his mind. "And really, in my head, undoing and taking apart stuff doesn't really take too much skill, which is why it's worrying me that Mate Rimac told us to take specially trained mechanics to get this car apart." The implication hung in the air like the tension before a storm. If this is so straightforward, why the heavy curtain of mystique? Why build walls around something that seems engineered to invite careful hands? After removing every bolt they could find, double-checking and triple-checking to ensure nothing was overlooked, Matt and Tony tested whether the quarter panel would lift free. It did, with a smooth grace that surprised even them. The entire side of the Chiron came off as one massive carbon fiber assembly, lightweight yet incredibly strong, a testament to material science that makes these cars legends. Matt and his dad carefully carried it away and set aside on padded stands, treating it with the reverence it deserved while the cameraman circled to capture the scale of what they had achieved. With both rear quarters removed, the separation point between the front monocoque and rear subframe became fully visible for the first time, a clean line that defied the warnings of impossibility. This was the moment of truth, the point where Bugatti's engineering philosophy would either vindicate or contradict their claims, where months of speculation met cold, hard reality in the form of exposed bolts and visible seams. Matt removed the rear bumper assembly with deliberate care, feeling the weight of history in every motion. Next, the entire unit, including the diffuser and taillights, came off together as one integrated piece, revealing the structural elegance beneath. The diffuser, the same one Alex famously stood on during the original crash inspection, was built from solid carbon fiber structural material that held firm under unexpected pressure. That's why the diffuser could hold when Alex stepped on it and then stood on the wing, Matt explained, his voice filled with genuine admiration for the design. That's a full carbon fiber structure. That is world strong. The rear wing required 4 Allen bolts and a couple of T30 Torx fasteners, each one coming free without resistance. The engine cover was held on with just 2 bolts accessed through a removable grille, popping off to expose the heart of the beast. Everything was coming apart methodically, logically, predictably, each step building confidence and chipping away at the myth that had surrounded this car for so long. With each component removed, the same pattern emerged. Sophisticated materials chosen for performance and lightness, precision engineering that spoke of obsessive attention to detail, but fundamentally conventional assembly methods that any skilled mechanic could follow with time and care. There were no secret factory-only fasteners hidden behind layers of proprietary magic, no proprietary tools required that couldn't be substituted with standard garage equipment, no magical knowledge needed beyond respect for the machine. With the external bodywork removed, Matt could finally see the actual structural connection between the monocoque and rear subframe in all its glory. From Bugatti's own factory assembly footage that he had studied obsessively, he knew what to look for. 14 titanium bolts ensure that the front and rear sections are joined firmly together, holding the 1,600 horsepower W16 engine in perfect alignment with the passenger compartment. 14 titanium bolts. That was the entire structural connection, not hundreds scattered like a nightmare puzzle. Not a complex bonded joint requiring specialized equipment and clean rooms. Just 14 bolts, elegant in their simplicity. Matt could identify 8 of them immediately, gleaming under the lights, but 6 were still hidden behind the air boxes. Those had to come out next, and the team approached them with renewed focus. Even the air boxes were complete carbon fiber construction, lightweight masterpieces that served as functional art while protecting vital systems. The bolts holding them looked like they came from a Swiss watch, precision machined, beautifully finished, and speaking volumes about the craftsmanship Bugatti is famous for across the globe. But here's the thing about precision engineering at this level. It's designed to exact tolerances, which means it's designed to be repeatable and reliable. If it can be assembled precisely in a factory, it can be disassembled precisely in a garage by those willing to learn its language. With the airboxes removed and set aside carefully, more of the 14 structural bolts became visible, each one a small triumph. But before Matt could remove any of them, everything connecting the front and rear sections had to be disconnected. Electrical systems with their intricate wiring harnesses, hydraulic lines carrying pressurized fluid for the advanced suspension, cooling circuits that kept the massive engine in check, fuel lines delivering the lifeblood to all 16 cylinders. This was the point Bugatti claimed would be insurmountable, the moment where chaos would reign and inexperience would lead to disaster. This was where their narrative was supposed to dominate, where complexity would crush any independent attempt, where the lack of special training and equipment would bring everything to a grinding halt. Yet what unfolded told a completely different story, one of order and intention. Once the car's power systems were isolated and safely drained, disassembly wasn't resisted. It was guided by thoughtful design. Not disorder, not confusion, but layered systems engineered to be separated in a logical sequence that revealed itself step by step. The connections between front and rear were purposeful, routed neatly, grouped logically, and organized with clear intention by the original designers. Wires didn't tangle into hopeless chaos. Hydraulic lines and coolant channels separated without drama or leaks. Fuel lines disconnected cleanly with simple, quick-release fittings. Every system moved in order methodically, as if the car itself was cooperating with those who approached it with respect for its engineering heritage. The justification Bugatti gave for exclusivity, only 2 facilities worldwide with their specialized environments, started to unravel with every connection Matt separated. They had refused parts, denied technical support, and claimed independent garages lacked capability, painting a picture of a car that existed in a realm above the rest. Yet every fastener removed, every cable threaded back through its path, every fluid line captured and labeled exposed a fundamental truth. The car can be serviced. It was never meant to be untouchable or sacred beyond reason. The 14 structural bolts, once positioned in Bugatti's narrative as an insurmountable barrier guarded by elite technicians, now came into view one by one under the garage lights. 14 titanium fasteners, strong enough to handle incredible forces, precise in their machining, but not unreachable or mysterious. One by one, Matt unscrewed them with focused determination, the sound of metal on metal echoing softly. The rear subframe began to move ever so slightly. Nothing bound, nothing twisted or seized. No secret factory-only tools were needed to coax it apart. The separation occurred slowly, safely, predictably, every motion deliberate, every layer revealed, every claim of impossibility proven false in real time for the cameras and the audience watching around the world. The gearbox, once described as untouchable without factory support and specialized lifts, was now accessible and ready for deeper inspection. The engine sat fully exposed in its glory, the legendary W16 configuration with its quad-turbo setup, prepared for whatever repairs lay ahead. Even the air boxes, those carbon fiber structural pieces with their precision bolts, had been removed without incident or damage. Panels, diffuser, rear wing, subframe, all came off cleanly and logically, each one telling its own story of thoughtful design. The overall design spoke for itself, telling a story very different from Bugatti's official narrative of unattainable complexity. Every claim they made about the levels of complexity, the necessity of specialized training, and the absolute requirement for facility exclusivity fell apart under the steady scrutiny of hands-on work. They had exaggerated the difficulty, refused parts to protect their service monopoly, and implied impossibility where none truly existed, all to maintain control over an icon. With the car now fully separated into its major sections, the damage in the crash became fully visible and contained exactly as sound engineering theory would predict. The sacrificial structure had done its job during the impact, absorbing forces and protecting what mattered most. Critical components remained intact, no catastrophic hidden failures lurking beneath the surface, no surprises that would derail the entire project. Just good engineering functioning exactly as intended even under extreme circumstances. At this stage, it became crystal clear to everyone involved and everyone watching. This task never required factory permission or blessings from on high. It never required secrets or proprietary knowledge passed down in exclusive circles. It required patience, method, and respect for the car's design. A normal garage with standard tools, careful reasoning, and a willingness to learn on the fly had accomplished what Bugatti claimed was impossible for anyone outside their approved network. The myth of exclusivity had been completely stripped away bolt by bolt, panel by panel, revelation by revelation. Now the narrative shifted entirely from speculation to evidence, from fear of the unknown to understanding of the possible, from mystery shrouded in corporate veils to transparency that empowers enthusiasts everywhere. The car isn't beyond repair or salvation. The impossible wasn't impossible at all. It was overstated, exaggerated, and carefully guarded to protect a business model built on exclusivity and control. But here's the crucial distinction that this rebuild exposes for all to see. Control is not the same as capability. Bugatti controlled the narrative, the part supply chain, and the official service network with iron determination. But that control didn't reflect the actual technical capability required to service the vehicle when approached with skill and determination. That distinction has now been revealed to the entire world in vivid detail. This isn't just about one YouTuber taking apart one crashed supercar in a humble garage. This is about the fundamental right to repair machines that we love and own. This is about manufacturer claims of impossibility being used as tools to justify service monopolies that limit access and inflate costs. This is about whether complexity should automatically equal exclusivity in an age where information and skill can spread faster than ever. The Chiron is undoubtedly a masterpiece of engineering, perhaps the pinnacle of what internal combustion supercars can achieve in this era. Its 1,600 horsepower W16 engine with its symphony of power, its carbon fiber monocoque that provides strength without weight, its titanium fasteners that blend lightness with durability, and its precision assembly that represents the best of human ingenuity all deserve respect and admiration from anyone who values mechanical art. But none of that engineering brilliance requires it to be unrepairable outside factory walls or dependent on a single source for continued life. The rebuild continues now with renewed energy, moving forward into detailed inspection of every component, precise realignment of the structure, and eventual reassembly that will bring the Chiron back to its full potential. Every system has been isolated and documented, every component accounted for and cataloged with care. Every step so far has exposed not only mechanics but the deeper engineering philosophy behind the Chiron, a philosophy that values performance above all but doesn't need to hide behind walls of artificial scarcity. Bugatti's claims have been challenged head-on, their narrative questioned by undeniable results, their authority scrutinized under the bright lights of public observation, and the world is watching as this rebuild unfolds in real time